How can I tell my mom and dad that I've been bad? Bro, I was trying not to blink for the crazy thing. Like 8 minutes before I even went live, I wasn't blinking. So if you think this was impressive, I've been holding this. I've been holding it. How can I tell my mom and dad that I've been bad? How me explain this misery? Come on, early to the early. Early to the early. Well, well, well. What's up, Disco Golf? I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. Carlos! The Beanie Witch Project. Tronado. I see you. I see. I was a little, I mean, I think this is about as dark as it's gonna get. I feel like Zordon right now. Power Rangers. You must murder Rita. You must decapitate her. You must put antifreeze in her mocha frappuccino. You must eliminate her lineage from the planet. I think honestly, I just didn't have my I have my brightness on my phone all the way up right now. I think that's all I needed to do last time. Cause it's like as dark as it's gonna get. Dance streaming in the moonlight. We get it almost every night. It's telekinesis, Kyle. I appreciate you liking early, Carlos. Mexican, can you tell us that story again about not being afraid since you have nothing to lose? Hey, are you a spy? Are you you know what I was thinking about the other day? Because, I mean, it's a blessing in disguise, you know? There's people in the chat, and I talked about it the other day. Because there's been so many people blessing the community with gifts, with gifted memberships, I'm fully aware. And it's kind of a double edged. Hold up. Almost knocked down my soda. It's kind of like a double-edged filero, you know, because it helps the community grow and we got more members, but at the same time, I understand that there's members here that don't even like me and they're hate watching. They just happen to pop in one time and they got a membership. So I don't know if you're trolling. I don't know if you're just trying to get me to say something and you can screen record me or what. I don't know. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. I just thought it was an interesting thing that you asked that. I'm not afraid to answer. But there's something very freeing about, like, I know this is a stupid example and it's probably really insensitive, but there's been times when I was like driving to a job that I hated, you know, waking up early in the morning, commuting. I mean, we all do it. It's not like I'm special. You guys know what it's like. You wake up early, you commute 45 minutes to an hour. You don't even like where you're going. Your coworker, your manager gives you a hard time and all that. You guys know how it is. And I remember every once in a while, I would see like a homeless person. And I was out here feeling so sorry for myself, you know. I mean, it was just, I know it was a stupid way to think, but at the same time, I stand by it. And sometimes I get kind of jealous of people that live in like communist countries or like what's it called, socialism and stuff like that, because I know this is like the most basic, bare bones, general way to think about it, because there's a ton of ugliness and terrible things that go hand in hand with that. But I always am like, man, from the very little I understand, because I don't take the time to do my research on it, obviously. It's like they get their portion, you know, they get their share and they just do whatever they want. If you want to be a painter, if you want to be a farmer, if you want to be a teacher, if you want to just like lay in the field and look at the sun all day. And again, I know this is like a kindergarten understanding of like communism and stuff like that, but the way I understand it, you know, not being capitalism, it's like I think everyone kind of just gets their portion, and you just chill, you know? You it's like you get an allowance for the rest of your life. And sometimes I would see a homeless person, I'd be like, bro, and I feel like I'm gonna regret saying this out loud, but I would be pitying myself so much. So I'm admitting this was a terrible state to be in and a terrible way to think. But I would look at him and I'd be like, bro, you're more free than I am. I'm trapped by this stupid life that I've made for myself with these different obligations and bills and debts and stupid holes I dug for myself and stupid things that I pursued in life, things that I passed up on, things I should have studied and learned, and things that I failed at. And I'm like, bro, it's almost kind of like filing bankruptcy. You know, that's how I would look at the homeless dude. Like, you could just start from right here, bro. You got no ties, you got no bills, you got no, like, bro, just. And I know it's easier said than done. I've had, I shouldn't say specifically which, I'll just say a relative. I've had a relative, about as close as a relative as you could have, that was homeless. um I know how devastating and painful that is, so I don't mean to downplay it, but um what I was trying to say, I forgot this wasn't even the main topic. I always distract myself. All I was trying to say yesterday was, when it comes to YouTube, I kind of feel like that dude. I kind of feel like I got nothing. What are you gonna take? Are you gonna take my sign? Are you gonna take my sign that I just made asking for food? I got nothing else to, like, what am I mean, when you got channels that have all this infrastructure, they have different people involved. They have, I mean, you get a channel like Smosh or like Will Smith or The Tonight Show or whatever. They got stakeholders, they got investors, they got partners, they got, this and that. You can't step out of line 1 inch. You can't go off the script. You got to make sure you say the right thing, you fit the agenda, and so on and etc. And it's because they're money making machines, and they're trending, and they got millions and millions of eyes on them. It's a very freeing thing to not be successful. It's a very freeing thing to not, like, imagine if I was working for like ESPN. I would have been fired like day one. Imagine if I was like working for, Paramount or something like that. People would be checking my scripts. They'd be eyeballing me. They'd be, bro, you can't say that. And I say, chale, I'd rather keep my integrity. And that's why, I mean, there's probably other things, but I probably could have been a lot more successful at this point if I would have collabed with certain people at certain times, taken certain sponsorships, traveled 4 hours to LA to collab with this and that person and done that. And there's just so much I said, nah, I don't want to be away from my family that much. I don't want to travel. I don't want to be in that element. I don't want to be in this or that environment. Nah. I'm just going to do my own thing for my little dojo behind my camera. And maybe I shot myself in the chancla. Maybe I'd be a lot more further along by now. But to answer your question, can you tell us the story again about not being afraid since you got nothing to lose? To answer your question, I'm a very, very, very stubborn person. I'm a very stubborn person. I'm not someone that bends the knee to anybody. I'm not somebody that is afraid to say what's on my mind. And I'm also not a hothead. That's why I feel so confident about saying what's on my mind. Because I'm like introspective to a fault. I hate how introspective and analytical I am. I never get outside of my beanie. So by the time I say something, I've already let it marinate for quite a while. And it's liberating, because like nights like last night on that stream. All right, so I know other MMA YouTubers. I'm not gonna say any names. I know MMA YouTubers that I got mad love for, that if they upload a video, and it's happened recently, we've had conversations about it. I know other MMA YouTubers that if they upload a video and they get a bad reaction, they'll take the video down. They'll make it members only. They'll unlist it. And they're like, man, I got a crazy backlash and people came at me. I'm like, bro, when people act like that with me, I double down. I'll make another one, bro. I love it, man. I love the chaos. That's where I live, man. I've talked about it so many times on here. One of my favorite, I guess you could just say entertainers, is Andy Kaufman. And I've done a lot of stuff on stage over the years. And one of the things I get the biggest kick out of is when you do something and other people don't get it. I love to live in that pocket, that awkwardness. It's like, you know, for some people go bungee jumping and stuff like that. I would never do that. I think it's idiotic. I could not. I would always be like for someone, like if someone has kids and they'll be like, yeah, I'll go skydiving, I'll go bungee. It's like, man, imagine you just go out one day to have fun and then your kids get a phone call, hey, your dad's dead. How come? He just had to jump off a bridge, man. I'm sorry. I know you're only 7 years old, but you're not gonna have a dad anymore. He just had to jump off that bridge. He needed to have that adrenaline booster. I just like, it's what a stupid, like, I remember one time Marilena wrote me into going on a hot air balloon when we had one of our anniversaries. And I was just like, to this day, I cannot figure out how she got me to do it. I just saw a thing not that long ago of a hot air balloon that caught on fire in the sky and like most of the people died. And I'm like, at the time, my kids were so little. And I'm like, imagine if we would have died. Like they would have went their whole lives without us just because we had to go on some stupid cartoon balloon like we're little kids. Like, I think that's so foolish, man. I always throw myself into tangents though. All I was trying to say was that's how I get my adrenaline. That's how I feel alive when I live in those moments, you know? And I think I just had a funky couple of days, fellow Arcer, because man, we were on a good stretch, you know, we were on a good streak with just good streams, you know, good vibrations and everything. It was beautiful for like the whole month, and then I put a post because I was frustrated because someone left me a comment that some people are seeing it and some people don't, but I've seen enough of those comments over the years where like I don't know if some people don't have the discernment to be able to clock condescension when they, or like passive aggressiveness when they see it, or like a backhanded compliment. There's a huge difference from someone saying, bro, this is amazing, I'm glad you did this, I love this, and hey man, I'm glad you, how did he say it? It was just something basically saying, I'm glad you're finally doing this again, or like, it was worded in such a way that was like, I'm not into everything else I'm not into 99.9% of the stuff that you've been doing. The only stuff that actually helps you survive and continue the channel going. But I am down for this one thing that basically made you lose your house because you kept trying to do breakdowns even though they're not sustainable. But yeah, whenever you do this, I'll come around. So let me know when you do this again. I'll be back. I'm like, bro, kick rocks then. Especially when I got people that are so ridiculously loyal. Like the taste that I've gotten of people who, like people that will watch a stream like this after having such exposure to the downest of the down homies that will watch a video like this. It's like I have no patience anymore for someone that's gonna come around and openly be a fair weather viewer like that. It's like, Charlie, I don't need you then. I don't need it. And I've said it a couple times, not like trying to block them, like, you know, not wanting to see their comments, but I've said I wish I could block people so they can't even watch my videos, because I don't even want people like that to be able to watch my videos. I don't want them to have that treat. It's like if they're not down with the other stuff that I do that actually helps the channel stay alive, I don't want them to reap the benefits of an edited breakdown. It's like I don't even want them to have that. I wish I could keep them from seeing it. That's why I was contemplating just doing it in the members feed. But I did that post and there was some negativity in there. Then I did the stream last night and there was some negativity. It was like, bro, what's happening? But I think it's good for me. I think it's good for me. It helps you feel alive, you know? And people thought I was, I'll touch on it right now. I'll touch on it right now. I don't want to ignore you guys. Do you think Raja could be a Power Ranger? Did you guys ever think it was funny that they made the Black Power Ranger black? You know what? Yeah, they made the Black Power Ranger black. Did we? There's no way I haven't talked about this before. They made the Black Power Ranger black. They made the Asian Power Ranger yellow, the Chinese one. They made the Red Power Ranger. He's Native American. Like, could they be more obvious? The Blue Ranger, I think he was Jewish. And who's the other one? The pink one, I don't know what to do with that one. She's just like girly, I don't know. But it was like right on the nose, you know? Yeah, I hate watching this wild, man. It's like people make a career out of it. It's crazy. Heck yeah. A failed painter would be scary. Hey, Adolf Hitler was a failed painter, you know? So you're right. Failed painters are scary. That's scary work right there, man. It sounds wild, but I talk to the homeless people in my area, and a lot of them feel like they've won at life. They have nothing tying them down except addiction. I'm telling you. So you guys know that I'm super like into my faith and stuff. You guys know that. Years ago, I was a part of this ministry that would go out and do a lot of work with the homeless. And we would go out to these homeless encampments. I remember, and so if you forget, I live in the Fresno area. So we were out in the deep cuts of Fresno. We were downtown Fresno. I mean, you guys hear Fresno in the movies and stuff. You know what it's known for. It's not the best place, you know. We would go down to Fresno. We would take food and stuff, and we would chill with them. I remember one night we were just chilling, playing guitar. There was a fire going. We were playing guitar, harmonica, and stuff, just hanging out. There was a dude there that had a harmonica. I'd never seen this in my life. He had a harmonica brace. It was like a broken one, but they get creative, you know? He screwed the brace itself onto the top of his acoustic guitar. So he would hold the guitar and like put his mouth down, and the brace was coming up out of the guitar. It was so creative. And he was so good at it. And they were so happy. They were so free. They were so happy. And I remember I would think about it all the time when I I had a Mercedes when I was working at Mercedes. I was such an idiot, man. I was working at Mercedes, and I was like, I want to drive what I sell so I could get familiar with it. And my 2010 Honda Accord that I didn't realize till I traded it in. They Ferris Buellered it and put the miles back. I saw it on the Carfax. It had almost 400,000 miles on it. I didn't even know that was possible. It had almost 400,000 miles on it. I had no cash to get another beater. I had got that car at a swap meet. I didn't even know they sold cars at swap meets till I found out from my father-in-law. I got that Honda at a swap meet. And it just died. It was done. There was nothing to do to it. I didn't even have a couple grand to go get another beater just to get to work. The only way I could get a car was if they helped me out where I worked. because I wouldn't have to put a down payment. I wouldn't have to do nothing. They were gonna put my first payment way out. They just hooked me up. So I leased a Mercedes, and I remember I was driving a Mercedes, and I was seeing these homeless dudes, and I was like hating my life. I was like, I'm working at Mercedes. I'm this sales dude. I'm driving a Mercedes. You know, you see someone in a brand new, it was 2020, whatever. At the time, it was a 24, maybe. I don't even know. Couldn't have been a 25. That was a while back. And I was looking at the dude like, I hate my life. You're freer than me, bro. You could get up and do whatever you want right now. This could be day one right now. I'm trapped. I'm trapped by all these stupid decisions I made, this stupid car I can't afford, this stupid this and that. And yeah, I took the Mercedes back. Now I'm driving a little Nissan hatchback. But when I was driving in that car, I remember being in a brand new Mercedes, driving it to work, and being like, this is just a stupid game that they put us into, thinking that this is normal. You know, we're born into this life. We're born into this existence where, because we don't see the whole, we don't see the bird's eye view of history, you know? We're born in the, whenever you're born, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. And it's like, oh, there's iPhones and gaming consoles and a bunch of clothes that I want, and movies, and if I want to get these things, I got to work this much, and I got to get that, and I also want a nice house, and I also want that car. So, and it's rat race from the get. As soon as they snip that umbilical cord, you're out there trying to get your hair did. You're out there trying to get your new whip, because that's what you're programmed to believe. Commercials, TV shows. This is how we dress. This is what we pursue. This is what we spend our money on. This is the things we're supposed to have happiness. This is what the Joneses have. Well, how do you get those things? You got to get a job. You got to be a workaholic. You got to have 2 household incomes. You got to drop off your kids with different people, make sure they're raising them. And you got to, you know, it's a whole rat race that we think this is normal because this is what we were born into. And people like that, people that are homeless, you think of them as the less fortunate. Chale. Now, I'm not going to act naive and act like they're not living in a bunch of like, I mean, it's messed up. Think about it on those days that are freezing. Think about it on the days that are 107. Think about when they're hungry. I know it's not, you know, all roses or anything like that. But if we think, you know, we call them the less fortunate. If we think that, if we don't think of ourselves in a, like, oh, man. Our like what would you want to call it, their plights, their troubles, ours are the same, if not worse. They're just sugar coated. We're prisoners. We're trapped, and we look down at them, and we're so foolish to do so, because they could pick up their sign and, you know, walk to the other side of town, chill out, take a nap in the park. Not you, homie. You better go on lunch break. You better make sure you clock out or you're going to get written up. You better make sure you don't forget to stop and pay for all that gas that just went up again so you can make it home. You better not forget to go to the store for dinner and pick up all that stuff that's more expensive that you could afford now. I was homeless for a little bit. I'm sorry to hear that, bro, but look at you. Resilient, bro. If I could live in the woods hunting birds and eating onions and stuff with AC Wi-Fi, it would be sick. I'm telling you, bro. I went on this father-son thing a few weeks ago with Jesse Jr. and some other dads and some other kids, and we were out in the woods. I didn't want to come back, bro. It was so peaceful. It was so peaceful, man. I mean, it was like in the woods, bro. Like I could have seen a bear. Like it was, that's the life, bro. That's how we're supposed to live. not inside all depressed. You know, we're supposed to get out, be around the trees and stuff, you know, get a couple ants on you. Like, I'm gonna flick them off, I'm gonna kill a couple. Like, you know, there's gonna be some casualties. But I at least wanna know that I gave some ants a chance to even crawl onto me, you know? If I'm not even giving them a chance, I'm not doing something right. I'm not gonna let them stay there. But they should at least get there, you know? I ain't gonna let them set up camp. I appreciate you, Lord Racer. It's like the people who climb Mount Everest and die and leave their families behind. Makes no sense to me. Yeah, man. You know what's weird? I don't know if I ever told you guys. There's some things that, you know, it's weird, and I know I've blurred the lines over the years, and there's times when I'm more than okay with that, and there's times I kind of regret it. But I don't mind doing it in the members tab. I always wanted to be a police officer since I was like, well, I had different phases in my life, different things I wanted to do. I'm kind of all over the place. I wanted to be a basketball player. I wanted to be a wrestler in the WWF. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be one of the Beatles. But as far as real jobs go, I wanted to be uh, a police officer. And I was actually I was actually in corrections in my earlier on in my life, pretty briefly, because kids were very young, and I didn't like doing double shifts 3 4 times a week. I said, Charlie. But I was always fascinated with transitioning to deputy sheriff or police officer. I thought it was like a fascinating, I've always been fascinated with law enforcement. And I didn't go the street cop route because, like you're saying about Mount Everest, I was like, I can't. I don't, I'm a chicken, or I don't know. Like, the moment I had kids, I was like, done. Nope. I ain't doing it. I ain't risking nothing. It's not worth it. I remember before I had kids, I felt invincible. Invincible. I would act different on the road, you know? I wasn't ever like an idiot hothead that would get road rage and stuff, but like, I wasn't gonna back down either. I was like more, I've never been a confrontational person. But the moment I had kids, it changed. Put everything in perspective. Not like every decision I make, like today, literally today, I had to drive into Fresno. Literally today. And there was a car acting stupid on the road. Stupid. We almost collided twice because this idiot kept trying to go all around me from behind, from the front, this lane, that lane. And there was this one time where I was moving over to the right, and I had already signaled, I was already moving, and then they did the same thing, and I could tell they were starting to punch it. And I could see on my right mirror, if I didn't bail and get back into my original lane, like, there's no way they weren't gonna collide with me. And there was a split second where I was like, I kind of want to let them because I'm gonna get paid. But then I was like, no, no. I had a kid in the car with me. And even if there wasn't one, it's like, this idiot. And have you ever noticed that people that drive like idiots on the road, I always notice this, they always have some kind of imperfection on their car, some kind of dent. It's like, of course, bro, because you drive like an idiot. That's why you cars like that, because you've been driving like this. But I always think, I bet that person has far less to lose than I do. I'm always like, it's not worth it, because And this is like anti, you know what I was talking about with the YouTube channel. Because when it comes to that, whatever, it's not like I'm popular. I got a bunch of success. I'm getting millions of views. So in that sense, I'm like the homeless person. What are you gonna take from me? You gonna take my sign? You gonna take my cardboard? But when it comes to like real life, you know, it's like I have a family. That's what's important. Not pride, not ego. And yeah, people that. So that's why I like being a something like a police officer. The moment I had kids, I'm like, nah, I'm a chicken. I'm not gonna take any risk. I don't want my kids to get a bad phone call, you know. I can't. Even no matter how cool I think it might be and how good I think I might be at that kind of job, and nope. And same thing when I see people Mount Everest. That's the first thing I think of, Christopher, when I see on the news or whatever, you know, this dude died because he was climbing this mountain, or this person died because they were bungee jumping, or and you know they leave behind this many kids. And I'm like, bro, what the heck? You didn't for a second think like maybe you weren't invincible and you weren't gonna have a parentless kid for the rest. Like that was that important to you? It makes me mad that they're willing to do that. It's so selfish. The underwater caves, man. Those videos freak me out, man. I have a 40-foot rule: nothing 40 feet up or down or out in the ocean. Yeah, that's a good one, bro. And you know what? What I've 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 been really. How safe do you think cruises are? Because this might be super hypocritical, but I've been like, the last few years, I've been like thinking about a cruise. They seem like they could be so cool. Not these stupid ones where all these people just want to go party and be all promiscuous and act like it's like a dirty club, you know? I'm talking about one with a bunch of like old Asian people, you know? Just playing like croquet and stuff. Um, Jordan, I always have dreams that seem to indicate, because I kind of looked it up before, that I'm out of control. I always have dreams. I have like a theme. I have these consistent dreams where I'm either driving off of some kind of cliff, some kind of bridge. I've had different versions of that dream so many times. I'm going up some kind of hill, some kind of windy road, and I just fly off. You know, like when you're playing Mario Kart and you just go off the road and you're just soaring, you know, you just go airbound. That happen. I dream about that a lot. I'm driving and I lose control and I just go flying. And my other ones, I basically have two kinds of dreams. I have those ones, and I have ones where someone is always trying to kill me. Always, always. Those are my two main dreams. I'm flying off the road, or someone's chasing me, trying to kill me. Um, there's a Fresno in Texas. Yeah, fellow Arcer. I tried to grow up too fast, too young, and I got in some major debt. And then this is one of the reasons it's like it's embarrassing, because I've always been proud of having like really thick skin. I could make a breakdown, and you know what? It's funny. I feel like I'm so bad at everything. Like I'm just not good at stuff. And as stupid as it seems, because it's such a pathetic, silly, unnecessary thing, but When I make a breakdown video, like an edited video, and I'm at my peak and I'm writing jokes and I'm, you know, taking my time, fine tuning it and stuff, I feel like this is what I was meant to do, man. Just be silly, just make people laugh, just make people make their day a little better. Um, when so when I upload those kind of videos, I almost never, ever, 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 I can't even like, there's like no negative feedback. And it's like, it's insane. When I make videos like that, it's like overwhelmingly positive. People recognize the work. And because of that, it was enough for me for like 9 years to keep pursuing and pursuing and pursuing and pursuing it and telling Marilena, people like it. They seem to like it. I just need to keep trying. I need to keep trying. Just one more video. I need to be consistent. Maybe the next one's going to pop off. But this is why it's a real sensitive topic. What I was saying was I've always had the thickest skin, because if someone did watch one of those videos and come in and say something negative, I wouldn't believe them. I would just be like, you're wrong, bro. Because I believe in them so much, because I know the work that went in, and I like comedy. And as a consumer, I could watch it and be like, this. I've made videos before that I wasn't happy with, and I scrapped them. Or I worked and worked on it until it was good enough. But I'm saying hypothetically, if people did say anything negative, it's like, it wouldn't even bother me, because I would just be like, I don't believe you. But when people say stuff in regard to, what am I doing? How come I'm dumb? How come I'm lazy? How come I don't upload more breakdowns? I got to admit, it gets to me, man, because it's a real sensitive subject. And I hate it, because I don't want to have a sensitive subject. I want to have the thickest skin for everything, you know? But it's like they don't understand. I pursued that for 9 years, doing as many breakdowns as I could and only doing breakdowns. And I almost refused to stream, because I was like, no, I'm not going to do my audience like that. I'm going to give them the best content. I'm going to edit. I'm going to take my time. And because of that, I ruined my finances. I was living off credit cards. I was taking out loans because I was pursuing this dream. And I was trying to stay a YouTuber and try to upload these videos, these breakdowns, because it seemed like the people wanted them. And I kept hearing, if you're consistent, you keep doing it, it's going to pay off. And it got to the point where I destroyed my finances. It was taking a dangerous toll on my marriage. I'll leave it at that. And whether or not it ends up being a blessing in disguise, you know, either way, that is literally what is causing me to lose my house. Pursuing YouTube and trying to give the people what they want and doing breakdowns made me get into stupid levels of debt that you wouldn't even believe if I told you the number. Took its toll on my marriage, my family, my body, my brain, my house. And then when I see a comment of people like, bro, what are you doing? Why don't you make more breakdowns? What are you doing with the stupid streams? Make a breakdown. I'm like, oh. It's just like being so dismissive and just like throwing a bunch of lemon and salt on a 9-year-old open wound. You know, it's like, bro, if only you lived the life I lived the last 9 years, you wouldn't just casually roll up and just slap a comment down like that, like it's nothing. Like there's a lot behind it, you know. There's a lot that goes along with it. It's not just a passing comment that doesn't mean anything. Like, maybe to someone just going about their day, but to me it's like someone could just roll through and leave a comment, move on. But to me, it's like, this is my life, bro. You just leave it and move on. But I live with this, man. Heck yeah, Turkey's Nest. I would love that. I've I would love to just have land and somehow just make a living off of just like, having some goats or something, selling some goat milk. Just milk, I would never be able to kill any of my animals. I know some people that they'll buy and raise pigs and then they'll kill them and eat them. I'm like, bro, you're evil. I couldn't do that, man. I love animals. You probably have to join a cop gang in Califas, bro. I'm telling you, when I was in corrections, it was dirty, bro. It's like the officers are their own gang. And it's like I saw some dirty stuff, man. The the reason so I'm always by the book. I'm a rule follower. That's just the way I was raised. That's just my disposition. I'm not a bratty, I break all the rules, kind of person. I like to follow the rules, do the right thing. I remember I would have people basically tell me, "Hey, chill out, bro," or like, "What are you trying to be, like cop of the month or what?" And like, I'd always find stuff during my searches. I would do good stuff. I'd get good commendations and stuff written, and other people would basically tell me like, "That's not how we do it, bro." Like, and they'd be bringing in stuff for people, and I'm like, "This is corrupt, man." Jane Caulfield, I heard about that. That people go missing on the cruises. Like it's just a way for them to kind of like scope out, who's on there, scope out the talent. I was thinking about that. Like, could I bring a gun or something? I just stay up all night guarding the door. That's I hate that, man. We live in such a stupid world. It would seem fun to go on a cruise. And I'm talking about like in an old person kind of way. Like when I say it would be fun to go on a cruise, I mean like I want to pig out and just eat at the edge of the boat looking at the water. I ain't gonna be acting crazy, dancing and stuff like that. See, that's what I'm trying to avoid, Mike Alfieri. I need to find a cruise that's just like a bunch of old Asian people. Those are my people. I like old Asians. I love old Asians. Did you hear about the skydiver who didn't pull her chute? She skydived 400 times a year and left her family behind after divorce and failed affair. What? Wait, what? What's a failed affair? Like she tried to have one and she failed? Wait, what? What? She skydived 400 times a year? Is this a joke? Is this a riddle? What the heck? All right, let me try to catch up. Do you have any funny writers that could help you? Oh, nah, Charlie. I would never use writers, ever, 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 out of principle. If I got a Hollywood budget, I wouldn't hire writers. Never, 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 never. I have too much integrity / pride / ego. Um, I would have to like force myself to even have any kind of a version of even an editor, because I have to have so much of a hand even in the editing just to make sure it's my style and my feel. Because I understand I'm not like the best high budget blockbuster editor ever, but I think that's why my videos have the touch that they have, because it's a dude that's not the best editor, so he's doing the best he can. And I think that gives it a kind of charm. I think sometimes when you watch stuff and it's a little bit too polished, then it's too polished. But if anything, like I remember there was a time when the Voto Studios dudes, after we stopped doing things together when they had to move and all that, um, one of the brothers, cause there's four brothers. No, go. Um, One of the brothers, I was I was paying him like I think $100. If anything, it was 150. But I think I was paying him $100 a breakdown. And the only thing I needed him to do, I said, all I need you to do is get me all the assets. And what I mean by that is, you know how when you watch a breakdown, there's all the B-roll, all the cutaway footage, the fight footage, the Photoshop, all that kind of stuff. I wrote him a list. For every breakdown, I'd write a big old list that says, I need this, I need that, I need this video of Dana White getting slapped by Nate Diaz. I need you to Photoshop a picture of Conor McGregor wearing a slice of pizza on his head and he's wearing clown shoes. I need you to get me footage of season 3, episode 4 of Full House when Danny Tanner did this thing. Like, I would give him all these random notes and I would pay him $100 to just get me all of those and put them in a folder for me so I could use those in my edit. Because that takes hours. It's a lot of legwork to find all those things, screen record them, download them, Photoshop. It takes a long time. The problem was, I would pay him $100 to do that. But the video that he would do that for would make like $20. So we did it for like 4 videos, and then I was like, all right, I can't do this, bro. But that's like the only thing. Maybe an editor, not, but see, just not like an asset collector. Even if there was an editor, I would have to do the final pass, and that's pretty much all my production needs. I could never use a writer. I would just be like, no, it has to be me. It has to be, that's the whole thing. It has to be my jokes, my tone, my whatever, or else it's like, that's why I remember when I found out that Elvis didn't sing his own songs, I was like, bro, you're fake. I just lost respect for him. Marloca, the prima of the MMA community, what's up? What's up? Living the Marloca, she's living the Marloca. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, fellow Arcer. I appreciate you. It's scary. It's scary being a YouTuber. Every day's a gamble. You never know how something you put up is gonna be received. You don't know if it's even gonna get seen at all. You don't know if you never know what you could depend on. It's scary. It's scary. You're literally like a busker. You're just like a dude outside a mall with the guitar case, You never know from day to day what your life is gonna be like. And it's scary. I was literally thinking about it earlier today. Like, how long can I, like, what's my plan here? Am I gonna try to take the momentum that we've had the last month or two here and not ditch this, but grow this into what? Like a more souped up, more thought out, presentable podcast kind of thing where I could actually put it on podcast platforms and maybe pull clips and stuff like that, or just straight up transition back a bunch of focus back on the movie. Try to make more breakdowns, get sponsors. I don't know. You're right, Billy the Kidder. I agree. I agree. and I've told people that before. Like I know not everyone in here believes what I believe, but I've told, I guess, what you could refer to as Bible believing Christians before, who have said, I'm vegan and I believe this and that's wrong. And I'm like, bro, you're basically calling, like, again, I know you don't all agree with me, and that's fine. Well, it's, I don't know if I say that's fine, but I get it. But I'm not trying to get you to agree with me here. But what I'm saying is, when there is someone who claims that they're a Bible believing Christian, and then they're like, oh, that's wrong, I would never eat. I'm like, bro, you're saying God's wrong, right? Because he gave you that to eat. So just so you know, you're defying scripture and the God that you say that you serve. Just so you know. And then like you figure out what to do with that then. But you're right. You're right. I think maybe there's certain people that have different talents and skills and are equipped to do certain things. And I'm definitely not a person that has the ability to kill an animal. I can't. I remember even in school when they had to dissect the frogs and pigs and stuff, I said, Charlie, you could flunk me, homie. I ain't doing none of that. That was gross, man. Oh, that's messed up, Beto. My dad and my sister. My dad bought my sister and I a baby goat when we were kids, only to send him off to some farm where it died. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. Young fatty, you're building your resume. You're on your way, bro. You would have got, they would have serpicoed me for sure, bro. For sure. I was too clean cut. A dude I know just got a jail officer job. He's kind of hothead knowingly. I'm worried. Bro, when I worked in the facility, officers, like if he's a hothead, if he's the kind of dude that, okay. When I worked there, the inmates were cool with me. Cool with me. Not to the point where I was like compromised. And because there's some officers, like especially the female officers that were there, when you walk into the unit and the officers act too amped up, you're a worthless officer and you're not doing your job. If you walk in there and they're acting like it's party time, that's not a good look for you. Something's off. But they respected me because I respected them. And what I would always say, because sometimes when we would chop it up and they'd be like, how come you don't do that? And I would tell them, hey, your consequence is that you're here, that you're stuck here. It's not my job to dish out a consequence to you. It's not my job to try to punish you. Your punishment is the fact that you're here. I'm just here to make sure you got your toothpaste, you got your blankets, you're safe, you got your food. That's all I'm here for. I'm not here to make your life hard. The judge, said that you got to be here for however long, and that's the consequence. But there's unfortunately officers in there that are on power trips and they want to give people a hard time. And those officers will get attacked. They will get pee thrown at them. They will get socked. They will get stuff, food trays thrown at them. Nobody ever did that to me because I didn't act stupid with them. But yeah, if he's a hothead, if he's going in there like that, I mean, I don't know how close you guys are. Hopefully he doesn't have to learn the hard way, because you get some pee thrown at you, some of it's going to go in your mouth. Those dudes probably aren't the cleanest. Probably going to get socked in the head. And then, unfortunately, a dude like that would think, oh, perfect. That's the green light. I'm going to sock him back. But it's a bad road to go down, because he has homies and he has homies and he has homies. And they're going to pass the wire. And they're going to talk about you. And you're going to have a reputation. And you're going to have troubles in every unit. And you're going to have troubles on the street, too. Because the word gets out. It's just not worth it. If you're a hothead officer in there, it's going to come back around. It's not worth it. You're going to end up doing things that if you don't keep it up, you're going to lose your job. You start saying inappropriate things to inmates, cussing them out, talking down to them, belittling them, push them a little bit too hard in the elevator, you do something stupid, gets to the point where they need to keep their mouth shut, you threaten them with stuff, they speak up. It gets ugly. How are you doing tonight? Been around before, Flaco? Bro, I appreciate you, man. I know it's been a crazy journey, man. I'm not, I'm not, I'm in a funky place tonight, to be honest with you. Um, I've been a little bit concerned about my health, to be honest with you. Um, I can't, like, every time I wake up, I just want to go back to sleep. I feel super, like, I feel like a zombie. I feel super tired. I just take naps all day. Like, I woke up today, did a couple things, and I was like, I can't function. I need to go back to sleep and try to get some energy. Did a couple more things, and I took a bunch of notes. I was gonna do a video today, like an upload, and I was gonna stream earlier, and I was like, I gotta take a nap. I gotta lay down. I didn't even mean to take a nap that time, and I just fell asleep. And it's like all day from the moment I wake up, I'm just waiting. Like how many hours till I could go back to sleep? Like I just feel exhausted. I feel off. And then I'm like, I bet I'll feel better if I work out. I just need to go in the garage, get the dopamine flowing, get the blood flowing. But it's like I don't even have the energy to do that. And then I feel guilty because it's like I could be doing work. I should be working on the next video. I don't have time to go exercise. That's just vanity, right? But it's not, because I feel terrible. And it's just I'm kind of concerned because like August was a fantastic month. People were being crazy supportive. It was just unprecedented. It's just super generous, super good. And then I'm like, okay, now what am I gonna do next month? I gotta switch it up. I gotta keep people happy. I gotta, like, what's my plan? And I'm just getting paranoid, and I'm at a weird place right now where I'm a little concerned. I'm a little nervous, but I'm also kind of excited because people came through so much in August that I feel like they gave me the opportunity to both end August and start September with a clean, strong slate. And I really think I should map out my upcoming month, because I'm the kind of person, I got like severe, I hate even using the terms anymore because everyone diagnoses himself with everything, you know. But even Marilena knows by now, I won't get a single thing done if she doesn't put like a physical list in front of my face. And when she does, it's almost like she's dangling the worm in front of me. When I have a list, I get competitive about it, and now I want to finish that list. Now I want to cross stuff out. But if I don't have that list in front of me, I'm just analysis paralysis. That's the story of my life, analysis paralysis. What about this? And how about it? But if I do this, then that's gonna happen. I probably shouldn't even do that because a lot. And it's like, I just need ABC. Boom, boom, boom. Do this list. And I think I need to just write out, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want my channel to look like. Here's what I want the month to look like. I don't care how I feel. I don't care how tired I am. I don't care what the top. I'm gonna do these things. I'm gonna put them out these days. I think I have to hold myself to that, or I'm gonna just have analysis paralysis. I'm gonna be all in my beanie, and I'm gonna think I have the best ideas ever, but then I'm not gonna execute. Wait, who took her life? You dissected a shark in high school? Bro, I hope that was part of the curriculum. Was that extramural? Bro, Mike, I was gonna say the same thing, but I didn't want to use the word. I feel like I'm always being too negative on here. Um, I feel like you know how some people just are just like chemically depressed, you know, like chemically imbalanced. I think maybe I was like that my whole life and I never realized it. I remember one of my teachers called it out one time in high school, and she called out how I was very like withdrawn, because everyone was it was when we were in. I'm gonna tell you something that, and look, don't get upset with me, all right? I know we're in 2025 right now, but we weren't always, all right? I'm just gonna tell you how it is. I'm not I'm not trying to formulate an opinion. I'm not trying to make you formulate one. I'm just gonna tell you how it was. When I was in high school, if you were in something like choir or drama club, you were gay. That's all there is to it. I remember there was this dude in middle school and he used to drink Diet Pepsi, and we thought he was gay because he would drink Diet Pepsi, and we were seventh graders. That's the life. I grew up in a little town called Orange Cove. Yeah, it's like that's like South Central LA. It was a little war zone. I grew up in a if you were in choir, if you did this, if you did that, you're gay. Like I didn't grow up in 2025, right? And I know that sounds very offensive the way I'm just saying it right now, but I'm just taking you back in time. I'm giving you a history lesson. That's how it was when and where I grew up. I ended up being in drama and in the drama club because there's this girl that I was trying to get at. Because I remember before that, they were trying to get me, and I was like, Charlie, I ain't gonna be caught up in that. But then there was this one girl that I was trying to be around. So I signed up for drama club just for that. And then I ended up absolutely falling in love with it. And I immediately took all the leading roles, all the solos. I was like born for that, man. It was some of the happiest times of my life. I think I learned, and it's stupid because I didn't do anything after I learned I loved being on stage, I guess, because I just felt alive when I was doing that. But I remember behind the scenes, imagine drama kids, theater kids, right? I was always off in the corner, and I didn't do it consciously. I didn't plan to do it. I wasn't trying to get it, but that's how I operated. I wasn't aware of it. It didn't occur to me. And I guess over days and days of this drama production, she noticed, and she tried to talk to me, and she was like, what's happening? I think she was, I was a kid at the time, and she was probably trying to make sure I wasn't going through something. And she starts talking to me about how I was like withdrawn, if I was depressed, and it kind of made me, for the first time ever, like, oh snap, is that like, I only thought like crazy people got depressed. Like, again, I didn't grow up in 2025. I grew up in an era where, like, depressed. Who's depressed? Did they listen to Marilyn Manson? What happened? Depressed? Are they gonna shoot people? Like, people, when I was younger, like today, everyone and their neighbors and their fifth cousins are depressed. Probably because social media and expectations, I don't know. But when I was younger, if someone was depressed, it's like, oh snap, they're gonna show up in a trench coat. You know what I'm saying? Some of you that are, a different age. And it was like, it never even occurred to me. I was like, am I depressed? And I remember one time my mom gave me this card. It was a birthday card. And she said something kind of emotional on it. And at the very bottom of the card, bro, she said something, she drew a little happy face. And she wrote the words, just be happy. Man, when I read that, that messed me up. Um, it made me sad because by that point, I was already aware of it. Um, and it made me sad that my mom was aware of it. It was like I didn't want her to have to feel bad about having a son. That was struggling. It was like it made me feel like I was giving her a certain kind of weight that she had to carry, you know. I know that wasn't her intention, but it made me feel really terrible. Because by that point, I thought it was something that I was really good at hiding. And sometimes it freaks me out because I know a lot of those things could be hereditary. And I feel like now that I know how to identify it, I feel like I was like that my whole life. And sometimes I feel like I see that in one of my kids. It's like you feel like it's your fault. But anyway, free Raja. Bro. Watch again, Billy. He's either drunk or on pills. The slurred speech is a dead giveaway. I'm not defending Raja, just something that stood out to me. I do want to say something about Raja. Um, Sometimes you need to force self-care upon yourself. Yeah, that's something I don't have. That's something I absolutely don't have. Absolutely don't have. I don't sleep. I don't sleep. I joked around about it the other day, but like I told you guys out when I'm in workaholic mode, like I won't even I know I should be embarrassed to say this, and I am, but I'm either gonna be real with you or I'm not. When I'm in workaholic mode, I won't even like brush my teeth. Like it's gross, but it's like I don't got time for that. It just feels like vanity. It's like I wake up and boom, it's like ooh, I'm researching, I'm writing, I'm editing. What do I care about that? I'm not getting haircuts. I'm not working out. I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating right. It's like who cares? It's not content. Every time I'm doing anything else that's not related to making content, I feel guilty. I feel like I'm not being a good provider. I need someone to make my checklist. Yeah, I always tell Marilena, make me a checklist. Maybe she'll tell me, oh, can you do this? And I'm like, no, 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 no. Hey, write it down. Write it down. I tell her, hey, you got to trick my brain. You know how it works. If you write it down, my brain will actually be excited to do it. You got to trick my brain. A little self-care and a lot of antidepressants get me through the day. Yeah, yeah. I've been trying. I've been trying to go the holistic route, with working out, but when I don't take the time. Oh, bro, I hated Asana, bro. When I worked for that tech company, we had to live out of Asana. Nah, I never got bullied. I never got bullied. Um, I was always a person that I was just I was a romantic, I was a lover, not a fighter. I always had I always wanted to grow up and be married already. I was like Michael Scott. He's like, when I grow up, I just want to get married and have a family. I always felt like out of place. I never felt like, I remember I'd be with other kids my age and I'd be like, these kids are immature. I want to get married. I always felt like an old soul. I remember I'd be around friends that wanted to drink and smoke, and I was like, you guys are idiots. What are you doing? And I just want to go. I used to write a lot of poetry. I used to write poetry. I used to write songs. I just always wanted to grow up and have a family. Um, I was always like known by everybody because I was just like, I wasn't a popular kid in that, like, I didn't, you know, the traditional, you go to all the football games, go to the parties, get drugged, all the, not at all. But like, I somehow I knew everybody knew me. I was involved in enough stuff, I guess, but I always ran in the smallest circles. I had like two good friends, like the best friends, and I didn't need anybody else. It was like this right here. It was like our arrangement. I always ran in tight circles. Like if I had one or two homies that I knew had my back and those are like my best friends, it's like, what do I have to have all these frivolities with everyone else? I didn't need the small talk. I didn't need the little empty gestures. I didn't need how's the weather? Or, what'd you think about the homework? It was like, I never cared for that. It always just seemed artificial, superficial. I did end up in a pretty nasty codependent situation um, for a while in high school. But I was, that didn't cause it because I was this way since I was a little kid. You ain't in high school anymore. It's not gay to take care of yourself anymore. All right. All right. You know what? I feel like I'm going to live my life differently from now on. I thought I was being gay. Oh my gosh. But is it still gay to drink diet? It's not gay when you're the moment you can rent a car, it's not gay anymore. I even drink raspberry iced tea sometimes. I'm really on the fence now. You were gay if you did anything not okayed by the cool kids. I grew up in the night. Yup, exactly. That's how it was. That's gay. This is gay. How come you're being gay? That's how it was. That's just how people talk. I used to think depression was silly when I was growing up, but then yeah, for real, I remember being like depressed. That's not real. You're just this and that, and wow, what a idiot. It makes me sad to think of the people that I might have been dismissive with when they were going through something just because I had no idea how to relate to it. Not trying to be personal, GM, but were your parents old school Mexican parents? They didn't talk about emotions, bro. You keep it all inside. My parents were definitely my parents my dad doesn't even know Spanish. And my mom grew up in a Spanish speaking household and basically only retained it to speak to her parents. So she could hold a conversation for sure. Like if she goes to a Mexican restaurant, she could order for us. But she's definitely more. It was definitely not what you would think of a as far as a traditional Mexican upbringing. Like my parents seem super whitewashed, you know. So as far as that, no. But as far as emotions, yeah, bro. And in the era I grew up in, the time and the family and the circumstances I grew up in, if you talk about your feelings, that's gay too. Yeah, we didn't. It's weird because I never ever for a moment felt unloved. I knew without a doubt my parents loved me. I felt super loved. I was the baby of the family. I just, especially me, you know, I felt super loved. But I mean, I guess I got to be honest. I guess as loved as you could feel without, you know, we definitely didn't. You didn't talk about emotions, and it's not an excuse. It doesn't make it right, but neither did my friends or their parents. We grew the time we grew up in the era. It was a hard place where we grew up. Jesse is not. I mean, Jesse's real. Jesse is my tío, my tíos, my primos, my friends' big brothers, my neighbors. You know that just it's not you know make believe. I grew up in a place where you didn't talk about your emotions. What is that? What are you talking about? So yeah, that didn't exist. That's probably why I wanted to get married since I was little. I probably had, and I didn't even realize that I was trying to figure out what to do with all these emotions, all these feelings that I let me yeah, bro. We're all in the same spot, bro. It makes me feel good that nobody in here has to feel crazy. Nobody in here has to feel alone. I mean, there's times when I'll be on the stream with you guys and I'm just riding the wave, you know. I feel like I'm on top of the world. We're animated, we're cracking jokes, and then, you know, it's end stream and it gets quiet, you know. I just walk into the living room and it's like, yeah, can't wait till tomorrow's stream, you know. Marloca, estamos aquí para ti, primo. We love you and understand you. Let it out. Marloca, you are too kind. You are too kind, Marloca. Yeah, sometimes I forget. Sometimes I have problems with Marilena being, you know, with me being emotionally unavailable or, you know, robotic and whatnot. And sometimes when things get really tough, I'll remember and I'll remind her. I'll be like, "Oh snap, I forgot why I became like this." Because it's like I have an artistic temperament, you know. I'm an emotional person. I'll sit down, you know, and I say it all the time. I said it the other day when I was streaming with Jesse on Fire, and I wasn't joking. I'll sit down and watch The Wizard of Oz, and I'll cry. This day, today, at that scene when Dorothy can't get back home. Like I'm an emotional person. I feel, you know. That's me by nature. But I get so used to not allowing myself to feel because I know how emotional I am. It's like, bro, if I just let everything out, I'll just be crying all day. I can't live like that. So I just shut it off. And then whenever I can't do it here and there and it breaks through, then it's like, oh snap, I forgot. I feel things. I forget on a day-to-day basis because I always turn that off. And then I'm reminded this is why I turn it off, because I'm too emotional. I don't want to be like this. I wish I wish I was a jerk. I wish I didn't care about stuff. Thank you, Marloca. Thank you for giving me community. Yeah. I think you got ADD like me. Strict morning of get up, exercise, walk immediately, 20 minutes, self-reflection, prayer, meditation for 20, planning tasks for 20. I like that, bro. I like that. If I don't get up with something like that, I'll just lull, you know, and I'll give myself the excuse of having the best of intentions. And I'm like, well, I want to do this and I have that idea and I know this will be good and I want to get that done. But you know, analysis paralysis, what can I do? But I can't keep living like that, man. It kind of makes me feel good that we could relate on that, Jordan, but then it also makes me sad for you because I know how hard it is, bro. Same with you, Michael. Let me I think I'm like ridiculously behind. I didn't think I would get this far back in the chat with because we don't have that many people in here. For real, bro. Smile now, cry later. Um, I always loved romantic comedies. I love The Notebook, bro. I'm sorry. I love The Notebook. Oh man. I get it though. I'll take it. I'll take the heat, bro. I love romantic comedies. I'll do my best, Claude Low. It's hard, man, but I'll do my best. It's a stupid life, bro. Hey, Turkey's Nest. There was a scene on Punch Drunk Love. Turkey's Nest. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to watch the movie Punch Drunk Love. It's an Adam Sandler movie. I remember I watched it like 2 years ago, maybe. And I remember there's this one scene where he has to see a therapist or something like that. Cause he's got all this pent up aggression. And from the earliest moments of the movie, I was already feeling it. I was like, oh snap, this one's gonna get me. Because I feel like a lot of dudes live like that. I feel like I live like that, where I'm just smiling, 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 catering to other people, trying to be nice, trying to make sure everyone feels comfortable and everything, while on the inside I'm just dying, you know. Just, you know, suffering silently. And there's this one scene where he was talking to the therapist. I think it was a therapist. And they asked him, how are you feeling, or what's going on with you? And Adam Sandler says something, I might not get the words perfect, but he says something very basic and very raw. The dude asks him, what's going on with you? How do you feel? And he just says, well, I cry a lot. And I remember when he said that, I paused the movie and I just started crying. And I was like, oh. I felt like that was me in the movie. And I was like, man, like I felt like him saying it out loud was like I was living vivaciously through him. Like, oh man, like I finally said it out loud. I do cry a lot. What's going on? Like I haven't paused and like voiced that and addressed it. Like, what's going on? Life moves so fast. It's like, okay, wrap it up. I don't got time for this. I gotta do the next thing. But when I saw him in that movie, like by proxy, and he said that for me, I was like, yeah, I cry a lot. What's happening? What do I do next? I don't know, man. Like, I'm not trying to make you cry, Turkey's Nest, even more, but I'm like, oh, Billy the Kidder. I don't even know why. I don't know why he said that. I don't know why I labeled it as a romantic comedy. I guess it's not, right? I mean, there's maybe a couple silly moments, but I guess that was just my way of letting you know I like those movies that are considered girly movies. Oh, that's funny, because he was actually in the movie called Anger Management as well. You're right. You're right, Chatty Fanny. I'm gonna assume, and I don't want to get all theological or anything. I don't wanna butt heads or anything like that. I do not want this to turn into that kind of night. But I'm assuming by your verbiage, you may be along the lines of Pentecostal. Um, I grew up in a Pentecostal background, and I deviated away from that. Um, I I've actually found a little bit of solace in the fact that figures like Jeremiah, Elijah, David, Solomon were often riddled with bouts of depression. I remember I used to feel wrong. I used to feel embarrassed being a Christian and being depressed. I used to think this is being a bad representation of Christ. I should not be depressed. And that caused a lot of shame for me. I struggled with that for a long time. I can't be depressed. I'm supposed to be filled with the Holy Spirit. This doesn't make any sense. But then I read the scriptures, and the vast majority of Psalms is filled with David, the apple of God's eye, being filled with depression and fear and worry and doubt. My God, why have you forsaken me? My God, I am up to my neck in tears. I'm drowning. My enemies are upon me. Where are you? Why don't you answer my prayers? I would find comfort in that. I remember when I started I grew up as a cultural Christian. This is the kind of music you're supposed to listen to. This is the kind of words you're supposed to not say. Don't do this, and speak in tongues sometimes. And then I actually started reading my Bible, and I was like, bro, these prophets, these men of God, they were depressed, they struggled, and I was like, I like that the scriptures show the ups and downs and how they relate to God in those phases of life. And there's been times when I have thought, I wonder if God can use this in me. I wonder if God can use me to show people, hey, you can feel this way and still declare Christ as your Savior. You could feel this way and still adhere to Scripture. You could feel this way and still follow the faith. Because I think it's important for people to know it's not all happy and joyful and balloons and unicorns, and because I know for me, I couldn't relate to that. And I know there's a lot of people that turn away from the faith because they're like, that looks corny, that looks fake, that looks too, like, I can't even listen to K-Love. I hate contemporary Christian music. It's so fluffy, and most of it's not even scriptural. There's no hymnody to the lyrics whatsoever. It's basically self-improvement music. It's like self-worship. And yeah. Um, Toby Mac catching strays. I can't stand Toby Mac's music, man. I would always tell my kids, turn that garbage off. My kids get tired of me with the lectures of how this contemporary Christian music is so unbiblical, and I'm telling them. I mean, I'll lay it out for them and let them know exactly how it is. You even see these artists getting interviews, and they say the most wackadoodle, unscriptural things ever, and it's like these people clearly just want to be famous under the guise of some kind of holiness. It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, it is, Beto. It's terrible. It's super corny. I hate what they've done, and I think they make it look embarrassing. Purpose in suffering is always going to be an oxymoron mystery. Yeah, bro. I just got a text from Marilena wanting me to tell the kids good night. I don't want to miss out on that, so I'm gonna get in there, be a father. Look what it did to Katy Perry. Yup. I don't know. Bro, yeah. You guys know I could talk to you forever. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Sometimes I gotta just pull the Band-Aid. I don't look forward to it. I love chopping it up with you. My goal is to not work tonight. I want to go maybe watch a rerun with Marilena, go to sleep early. I really want to wake up at like 6-ish. do something physical, get some kind of blood flowing, feel good, lift some weights, and then just hit it. I'd like to make a video tomorrow. I don't want it to be like this every day. Today was a big fail. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending some time with me on this low budget stream. You guys be safe out there. You guys don't be listening to Toby Mac. And that includes you guys, Beto. Thank you, bro. You guys have a good night. I'll see you in a couple different forms tomorrow. I plan on being an active champion. Appreciate it. Good looking out. Late.